Hello everyone, Wade from HiTechLegion here, and here we're going to be doing the component install for the Fractal Design Define XL-R2 full tower computer case. What I've done so far is I've installed the standoffs for a standard ATX motherboard, as well as the motherboard I/O plate, and a relatively small power supply for this case. Into the case, it's the Fractal Design 650 Integra, but you can see that there is plenty of room for a longer power supply, and even if you need more room, you can remove the 140mm fan on the bottom here. This is a non-modular power supply, so we're definitely going to see how the cable management on this case works. Here we have the power supply and a standard ATX motherboard installed. You can also see that we have a large Fontex heatsink, the dual tower heatsink installed in it. There's plenty of room for the side panel to close even with this large heatsink in place. There's room up here for a 240mm slim radiator, almost even with this large heatsink in place. You can also mount the 240mm water cooling radiator in the front here after removing this hard drive and sliding this bay over this way. You do have to remove the 140mm fan in order to do that. You can mount a 120mm here and a 120mm radiator on the back here as well. This also does support micro ATX, mini ATX, e-atx, and xl-atx motherboards if you were to use a different form factor board. Here's a closer look. We've installed the graphics card into the system simply by pulling the two thumb screws here, taking the blanks out, putting our PCI Express card into the slot on the motherboard, putting the two thumb screws back in, and connecting up any necessary power. As you can see, we have plenty of room here for a larger video card, up to 330mm. This one is about 11.5 inches long, and you can see we've still got quite a bit of room here between the hard drive cage. You could also pull this hard drive cage if your card happened to be longer than that and have one stick into this space. Next, let's install a 3.5-inch hard drive into the drive tray. Simply pull the drive tray by squeezing these and it slides right out. Then you're going to take your drive, and you see we've got 4 screw holes on the bottom of the drive, and line it up with the 4 rubber grommets here on the bottom. Then you're going to take the included screws, these are a special screw because of the rubber grommets, and screw them into place. And then you'll just slide this drive tray back in once all 4 screws are in place. You also can install an SSD or 2.5-inch laptop drive into one of these drive trays by lining up the 4 holes on the bottom of the 2.5-inch device with the middle holes marked B on these drive trays and inserting a standard screw into them. Next, let's install our optical drive into the case. We're going to pull this little clip here to take the blank out, slide our optical drive into the bay, and then insert thumb screws into the side of the drive to hold it into place. Here we have the Cooler Master Saturn 240M all-in-one water cooler installed in the Define XL-R2, and you can see we've got the water block here and the tubing, and there's plenty of room to route the fan cables however you'd like. Right now the 240mm radiator is mounted in the top location, and we have it in just a push fan configuration. There's definitely enough room here to put a second set of fans on it and do push-pull if that's what you desire. Now I'm going to show you the benchmarks for both the water cooler and the air cooler. And here's the completed component installation for the Fractal Design Define XL-R2 full tower computer case. It is near silent, definitely quieter than any other case I've ever worked with. Even with 3 fans running, 2 fans on the CPU cooler, and a loud GPU running in the system. I'll also be showing you benchmarks for the case after this, as well as what an all-in-one water cooler looks like inside the case.